Well, good morning. We're going to do a quick video using some of the charts that are available at Tropic Marin, and you could also download them from Facebook's Tropic Marin user forum. I went ahead and uploaded them to the files section of Facebook's user forum. So at the top of Tropic Marin's Facebook page, you can click on files. It's actually the Tropic Marin user forum. You can click on files and then download all these charts and all these guides. They're available at Tropic Marin's site, but unfortunately it's hard to download them because they're framed. So we went ahead and just uploaded them here for you. And one of the things that's available is, of course, the good optimum water parameters that are usually established when you're using all-for-reef. So just looking at this temperature-wise, just a quick look, 73 to 80 degrees is generally a good healthy temperature. Keep my tanks here about 78. Of course, specific gravity, continuity or conductivity, pH value, of course, all this stuff is pretty common. Hardness, mine is actually around 10. I keep mine and I'm using all for reef. And that's adjusted. It comes up and down slightly, not a whole lot. Magnesium, arguably some people keep it higher. In fact, I've heard some people talk about gonioporum and they keep their magnesium at like 1400 to 1500. I've never seen or heard anybody that actually raises goniopora in a farm, an aquaculture farm, and sells them that says that. I've heard a couple of people that resell them and some hobbyists that say they like to keep them up around 1500 magnesium. You could dose up that high if you need to. I don't. I keep alvapore and goniopora. They're very happy at 1350 to 14. They do like manganese. So if you add a little manganese to it, that's maybe 1 drop every 2 days per 100 gallons, something like that. They definitely show a little response to. But all the other numbers are right here of what all for reef should come in at. I'm very close to these numbers, and then you could control what you want to with of course, carbon dosing. But anyway, let's take a look at this. We're going to look at their basic setup. So you can get this from their website, but it was a little bit tough to download again, so I just went ahead and downloaded them and do a quick walkthrough. And I love it because it is really how to basically hit the ground running. So if we look at basic care number 1, and this is really for a marine aquarium. So it's an aquarium that's going to have mostly fish. It starts out with classic sea salt, reef active, and nitrobiotic. And just a quick note on the nitrobiotic, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking we use nitrifying bacteria and probiotics only for corals, and this is simply not true. Inverts need them, fish need them, the immune systems of both use them. So it's very important that we dose these products even if we're not raising corals. Now in this case, minerals, we're not coral heavy. Again, this is going to be a marine aquarium, so we're going to rely on the fish poop, the fish slime, the breakdown of everything else, the inverts, to provide the minerals that we need. We don't need to supplement them. And of course, we're going to use our Tropic Marin Compact Lab test kit to make sure our numbers are in line. Now, when we look at Basic Care 2, this is just a little more control. Again, we're going to go to the Pro Reef Salt instead of the Classic. We're going to continue to use our Reef Active. This is our dosing. We're going to continue to use our nitrobiotic. We're going to add that nitrifying bacteria and probiotic to feed it. And of course, now we're going to start using all for reef because we need to supplement minerals. And there's 2 parts to feeding our corals, and I'm only saying this for the beginners that confuse this a little bit. We're going to feed them the minerals that they need so that they can calcify. We get carbonic acid has to occur for that sort of the mineral part of the growth of corals. We're going to talk about the fleshly part of the corals that we feed with actual caloric food. So there's 2 parts. We feed minerals, or we dose minerals, we feed foods. And people say, well, I'm going to dose food, I'm going to feed minerals. They kind of cross the 2. I do it myself. I'm not a scientist, not a marine biologist, so just a hobbyist that loves this product. So again, it's minerals, supplementation, all for reef. We're going to start supplementing because we're growing corals now to an extent. Basic Care 3. Carefree carbon dosing. We're going to start, in this case, use the pharmaceutical pure that is bioactive sea salt by Tropic Marin. This has a bioactive in it that we were dosing up here. We don't need it anymore. However, we are going to add the nitrifying probiotic bacteria because we do need that. We're using all for reef right now, so there's our mineral supplementation and of course our test kit. Now you notice as we change salts, we're adding more of everything that's coming up in this column and this column to the salt. So down here in Basic Care 4, this is the easiest application. You don't have to dose really anything at all. The pharmaceutical pure sea salt, this one, the symbiotic sea salt, has your calcium, magnesium, it has your carbon dosing and beneficial bacteria, it has your nitrifying probiotic bacteria. So it has basically everything that you would add on this side in these columns and bacteria to the salt itself, so you don't have to. And of course, our mineral supplementation, Alpha Reef, and our test kit. So looking at this Basic Care 4, you could do anything you need to do to set up your reef tank. And if you want to, just use literally 2 products. This last one here, the salt, and the Alpha Reef. And as long as you're doing your water changes once a week, once every 2 weeks, you're actually resupplying all your minor trace nutrients, your calcium, magnesium, your dosing for beneficial bacteria, your nitrifying probiotic, it's all included, and then everything in line to maintain that equilibrium is going to come from your Alpha Reef with the balance of magnesium, alkalinity, and calcium, and of course keeping those ions within range. So again, it makes it really easy. We're going to upload this chart to the Facebook page. And just a quick note on food, if you look down here at the bottom, we're not going to get into the professional products right now, but we are going to talk about food and nutrient control. So let's go ahead and highlight that. We're going to talk about food, we're going to highlight that. And why we're talking about this is that this is the side of the caloric feeding of the corals. So you may start feeding them aminos, the zooplankton, the zootonic. Quick note on these two, the difference between them is one is a liquid, one is a solid or a granule. And with the granules, they're really used for high end. So if you've got a gigantic tank, or if you're in the industry and you're feeding multiple tanks, you would probably get the granule, the dry powder, mix it up yourself. It's a lot cheaper, it goes a lot longer. If you have a BioCube, you're probably using the zootonic, and you're using the liquid to dose really easy. Same thing with the phyton and the phytonic. Same thing, one's a granule, one's a powder, one is a liquid. So if you're at home with a BioCube or a 100-gallon tank, you're probably getting the liquid. If you got 10,000 tanks or a 10,000-gallon tank, you're probably getting the powder. So that's the difference. Here's the fish food down here. And again, when you start adding food to the system, you're probably going to have to start doing nutrient control. That's where this comes in. So when you add food, you start feeding the corals and the fish, then you have to start reducing your phosphates, reducing your nitrates. That's when carbon dosing comes in. We're starting to use stuff like NP, Bactobalance, NP plus, or plus NP, Lemi NP. So we're increasing and decreasing the nitrates and phosphates when we start feeding the foods on the right side of this column here. And that comes in later as our tank starts to grow and we start to really load it up with livestock. So just like I said, a really quick note, this is one of about 3 videos we're going to use these little guides for. They're wonderful. You can, again, download them from Tropic Marin's website. A little bit hard to navigate because they're in frames, or you can just download the PDF right here from Facebook within Tropic Marin's user forum. So I hope this was helpful. Again, Fishy Fins, we're noticing that all these products for Tropic Marin are showing up all over the store shelves around Southwest Florida. So we could actually, anything that you need here on the screen is at Petco, it's at Boardroom, aquariums, it's all over the place, Fort Myers, Sarasota, so you can find it every place now. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you in your reef tank.